I used to laugh at those midnight challenge videos. You know, the type people whispering into the camera, daring the algorithm to notice them. I always thought it was just harmless fun. Until it wasn't. It all started in a group chat. There were 5 of us, me, Ryan, Jess, Theo, and Liv. We'd been friends since high school, but now we were scattered across different cities, mostly connected through our screens. One night, Theo sent a link to a trending TikTok called Hide and Seek at Midnight. I almost ignored it, but the caption caught my eye: play the game, film the round, tag your friends. If you're still hiding when the clock hits 12:13, you lose more than the game. We joked about it for days. Liv was convinced it was fake, just some elaborate marketing stunt. But Ryan, our resident skeptic, said, why not try it? Worst case, we get some content out of it, so we picked a Friday night, the first one we'd all be home, to give it a shot. The rules seemed simple enough, or so we thought. 1. All lights must be off. 2. The seeker starts counting at exactly midnight. 3. No phones once the timer begins. 4. The game ends at 12:13. And the 5th rule, the strangest one, never, ever say I'm found, at 11:58 p.m. We went live on a private stream. The chat was already blowing up with laughing emojis and people daring us to go through with it. As the minutes ticked by, the house felt quiet, the only light coming from the little red LED on the camera. When the clock finally struck midnight, Theo grinned into the lens. Ready or not, he whispered, and we scattered like we were kids again. Our hearts were racing, but we were just pretending this was some spooky, nostalgic game. I found my hiding spot behind the laundry room door, trying my best not to laugh. Through the thin walls, I could hear Ryan counting, his voice echoing through the darkness. 89, 10, then the counting stopped. And what followed was a silence that felt heavy, unnatural. It was like the whole house just held its breath. No footsteps, no giggles, just a stillness so thick it seemed to swallow every sound. After a moment, I whispered, Ryan, but there was no answer. Only the faint, steady tick of the kitchen clock. Tick, tick, tick. By 12:03, my curiosity got the better of me. I peeked out from my hiding spot into the empty hallway. That's when I noticed my phone. No signal. I lived in the middle of town. Always had a signal. My eyes drifted to the camera Theo had set up in the living room. It was still recording, but the little red light wasn't steady anymore. It was pulsing slowly, like a heartbeat. Thinking it was just a prank, I stepped out into the hall, half annoyed, half nervous. But the second my foot touched the rug, every single door in the house creaked open at the same time. Then I heard Ryan's voice, but it sounded distant, distorted, like it was coming through a bad connection. He called out, "Found you," but that wasn't right. He wasn't supposed to say that. The rules were clear. My blood ran cold. I fumbled for my phone, trying to call Jess. The call went straight to a weird, garbled voicemail. It sounded like her, but her voice was warped, stretched out, saying something over and over again. It took me a few seconds to understand the words. "Don't let it find you." It's not Ryan. I dropped the phone and scrambled back into the laundry room, my heart pounding against my ribs. I heard footsteps then, slow and heavy, moving through the house. But they weren't Ryan's. They didn't sound human. I pressed my ear against the door, listening. The footsteps stopped right outside. I held my breath, praying it would just move on. Then a voice whispered from the other side of the door, a perfect imitation of Liv's. "Hey, are you in there? I think something's wrong with Ryan." "Let me in," my mind was screaming at me. Liv was hiding upstairs. She wouldn't come looking for me. This wasn't Liv. I stayed completely silent, my body frozen in fear. The handle began to jiggle. Slowly at first, then more violently. The thing on the other side of the door knew I was in here. I backed away, pressing myself against the far wall, as far as I could get from the door. Suddenly, the jiggling stopped. A moment of silence passed, and then a piece of paper slid under the door. Shaking, I crept forward to look at it. It was a child's drawing, done in crayon. A crude drawing of 5 stick figures playing hide and seek in a dark house. 4 of them had their eyes crossed out. Only one was left untouched, mine. The clock on the wall read 12:11. 2 minutes left. I didn't know what would happen at 12:13, but the caption from the TikTok echoed in my head, "You lose more than the game." I had to get out. My only other way out was a small window that led to the backyard. I quietly unlocked it and pushed it open, the cool night air hitting my face. As I started to climb out, I heard it again. This time it was Theo's voice, pleading. "Please don't leave us. It's coming back. We have to stick together." It was so convincing, so full of terror, that for a split second, I almost believed it. But I knew Theo was hiding in the attic. He wouldn't be downstairs. I threw myself out the window, landing hard on the wet grass. I didn't look back. I just ran. I ran until my lungs burned and I couldn't hear the house anymore. I ran until the streetlights of my neighborhood came into view. I finally stopped, gasping for air, and looked at my phone. It was 12:14. The game was over. My screen lit up with notifications. Frantic texts from Jess's mom, from Ryan's brother. Missed calls from numbers I didn't recognize. The last message was from our group chat. It was a single, new message sent at 12:13 from Theo's account. It was just one photo, a picture of the living room taken from the camera we had set up. The room was empty, but in the corner, almost hidden in the shadows, you could see them. 4 figures standing perfectly still, all facing the camera. Their faces were blurry, indistinct, but I knew who they were. Ryan, Jess, Theo, and Liv. And written across the bottom of the image were 2 words, "Found them. I never went back to that house." My friends were all reported missing. The police found the house empty, the doors all wide open, the camera still recording a silent, empty room. The stream we had broadcasted was gone, scrubbed from the internet as if it never existed. Sometimes late at night, I get a notification from that old group chat. It's always a single, distorted photo of wherever I am at that exact moment, with the caption, "Ready or not, the game isn't over." It just found new players. And now I'm not the one hiding anymore. I'm the one being hunted, and I know, sooner or later, it's going to find me.